We do too. I'll now call the meeting to order.
I can't find Jim.
It's a little after 6:30 this evening on Wednesday, October 17th, 2018. And I would like to welcome all of you to the clubhouse for the monthly meeting of the Board of Directors of the Pine Ridge Condominium Association at 4801 Lakeside Club Boulevard. The meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nancy. Nancy.
All right. Before our regular meeting begins, you think you need that? Longtime Pine Ridge resident and personal friend to many of us, Skip Zimmerman passed away a couple weeks ago. Over the years, Skip has always been there to volunteer and to serve the community. Skip was an officer of the social club, organizing many events and activities in the Pine Ridge for several years. He also served on the board of directors at different times, several years ago holding the position of secretary, and most recently, Skip was the vice president of the board for 3 years, from 2015 to 2017. He was a special guy with a great sense of humor. I want to send our deepest sympathies to his wife, Nancy, and their entire family on behalf of all of Pine Ridge. Let's take a moment of silence to honor Skip Zimmerman. We'll miss you, Skip. Eric, will you please call the roll of the directors?
Yeah, John Fricker.
Here.
Janet Miranda.
Here.
Ken Jerome.
Here.
Tommy McIntyre. Scott Harris.
Here.
James Tucker and Mike Allen are absent.
Let's see, what did I have next? Where I got a little bit. It's not that big. Proof of notice of the meeting?
Properly noticed.
Okay. Now we have the open forum part. Did we have any?
Yeah, actually, Andy Levin had signed up to speak, and I sent him to do a favor, so when he comes back, we'll give him the opportunity. So.
Well, maybe Kathy wants to speak first.
No, he has the date, so I can't.
Oh, okay. All right, that'll be fine. Ron Business?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I really hate to miss an opportunity to talk. But one of the things that you folks, oh, hi, Tom. One of the things you folks are going to be discussing is the contract. And I was going to put together a spreadsheet that conclusively proved that the lease cost way for all of our members is to have no contract at all. But I decided not to do that. Instead, I want to speak to the issue of exclusivity. Right now, we have a contract with Comcast that gives them exclusive rights to market additional services in the community. And that's just simply wrong. The contract should only provide exclusivity for the services that are specifically covered in the contract.
Thank you.
That we should just not grant them exclusivity on internet and voice over IP and all of the other things that are happening now in the communication world. So I'd really like the board to take that into consideration. And as they negotiate with Comcast, tell them that the days of monopoly are over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, we actually have used that as a negotiating point, that if they want that exclusivity, it's not free. And that's one of the things that'll be talked about, but you don't get that type of exclusivity over 500 homes for free.
Okay, we'll go on with the meeting, and when Andy comes in, we'll pause for that. Okay, the minutes of the previous meeting were posted or sent out.
I'll make a motion we waive the reading of the minutes.
Second?
I second it.
Thank you. The motion has been made and seconded to waive the reading of the previous meetings. Manager's report.
I'm gonna start off tonight. I'm gonna start off tonight talking about our cleaning crew, our new cleaning crew. I've gotten a lot of notes and emails of people who aren't thrilled with the job. I've had a few people that think they're doing an okay job. I wanted to bring in the owner of the company to come up and speak with us, and maybe we can take some of your concerns. I know that's kind of out of order, but
He doesn't, he's in bed.
Should we call the,
He seems okay, but he's just disoriented. So that's up to you.
they say he seems okay, but he's disoriented. Should we call someone for him?
Yes. Call him 911.
Elon, why don't you come on up and take the mic? If anybody has any questions about the cleaning service and or concerns, talk to Elon. I'm gonna just step away for a moment to take care of something, and hopefully Elon can clarify, their processes and the way it works, and help everybody to understand.
Okay, Elon, would you turn that mic around, so that you're facing those people, please?
Thank you. I think everybody's hearing me well. First, I would like to say thank you for Pine Ridge, for the manager and all the board to hire my company to be here. It's an honor for us to be working here. So he told me some people are complaining. In the beginning, we
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Hey, wait, Elon, he can't hear this. We've got some problems here somehow. Why don't you come up here and sit down?
I'm not upset.
Excuse me.
I thought the board was like
Come on,
Sorry.
sit down here and,
I never talked
But you have to
49
behave
people in my
yourself
life. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, everybody's hearing me and you also, okay. So, I'm sorry, I didn't know the board was too many people, and I never talked for too many people in my life, it's the first time. Okay, so my phone was, so I prepare here, what do you have for now? What was going to hire? So it's important, I don't know if everybody knows, but we clean every building every other week. So if you clean this week, next week we don't clean, and then we're gonna clean the following week. So I don't know if this is, because it's my first time cleaning here with my team, I don't know if this is enough for all the building, but that's why we were hired, right?
right, so do you want the people that have some questions here to get up and answer that? Would that be
Yes,
the
of
best
course.
thing? Okay, yes. She's a nice lady, but.
No, can you hear me? Oh, yeah.
You can't hear on the video though.
Oh, you can't hear on the video?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay. I told you last month that out of the 30 condos that I watch, not one of them was clean. The doorways, around the lights. So I kept track every week this last month. As of today, only 2 out of the 30 were clean. I either take a broom and go around the doors, or I take paper towels and go around the doors and those little lights. They're never clean. And it doesn't make any difference if it's first floor, second floor, or third floor.
Okay, do you want to turn around here, please?
Yep.
Thank you. I'm surprised to hear this because I'm sure the person who is here, she's clean. And I can, if she's not cleaning, and if you want, we can ask to provide pictures after all the cleaning that she does. And I think that will be proof enough after she cleans.
Our building has not been cleaned.
Which number is your building?
4761
4761. Let me check.
Lakeside.
4761. Your building is supposed to be cleaned Thursday. The first time they cleaned it there was the 12th
Nope.
of September.
No.
No. We timed it one day at the pool. They went in a building, they came out in 1 minute.
Wow.
1 minute. You can't clean, I mean, there are only 2 stories here. There's only two things, but it was 1 minute. They timed it.
When was this, please?
One day this week or last week, excuse me. And it's been 5 minutes in our building.
And the person is wearing a orange shirt
Yeah,
with the name of Anna?
but it was 5 minutes on at 9610 Green Cypress.
9610. Yeah, it's impossible to clean in 5 minutes.
We figured that. That's how it is.
I'm never gonna lie to anybody. It's
I know.
impossible to clean one hallway in 5 minutes. So,
Maybe you can explain what's included in the contract.
yes, I bring
Because
some.
we don't know what they're supposed to
I
do.
bring some contracts here.
Okay.
Exactly, I didn't know it was, but it's right here. If you wanna take one, please, it's for you.
Well, we all need to know what's included, because I saw one guy that he went and walked with the blower,
With
and
the
that's
blower,
it.
yeah.
And that's it, that's all he did.
No.
And he walked away.
And he walked away.
Blower's not
So
gonna clean.
nothing, that's why we need to know, are the floors, are the walls included, is the carpet swept, are the rails clean? We don't know what's included in the
I will
contract.
tell you, everything is included in the contract and have to be done. Okay. So,
Well, from what you hear, what you want to do, you want to give it another shot and try to get it done, or what do you think?
we changed teams almost 2 weeks ago, 1 week or, she's doing this the 3rd week. So I'm surprised what they're doing. She's gonna come tomorrow. And she
How
have to
many
listen
hours
here, but
How
she
many
said-
hours she gets here and does for cleaning and you do an inspection?
You.
No, I can do the inspection, that's the problem, and also I really trust in this person. She's working for me for a while, I trust in them,
But we don't.
and I understand, but,
Does she know what she has to do here?
yeah, she knows.
Why does she have a blower?
She have a blower to get out
Yeah.
the debris from the floors before she used the vacuum cleaner.
She doesn't use the vacuum.
Tell him it's so
She never heard the vacuum.
She have a vacuum.
No.
They came to my condo Monday, was 2 men. They cleaned the railings, they cleaned my door, which wasn't done in a while. And then they left, they didn't vacuum
This Monday?
this Monday. It was 2 men.
I'm surprised you told me it's 2 men, because it's not supposed to be 2 men, it's supposed to be 1 lady. I'm really surprised. I need this information. Tomorrow morning, I'll be here, she'll be here tomorrow
One man
morning.
was cleaning the railings, And the other man was doing, he went right
And,
my
and
door.
I know sometimes she bring her son with her, not,
Maybe she has two sons, I don't know.
don't know.
Yeah,
I think you found the problem.
Maybe they've subcontracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, did she subcontract?
No, they're not subcontractors, they're franchisee, they own their own business.
It's a family.
I live in a villa, so I have no idea of what your people are supposed to do. But I will take a sheet from the office. But my question is, how much does Pine Ridge pay for this service?
Yeah, we're under contract with them.
Well, what kind of money do they get? It seems that everyone is complaining, and to be honest with you, I wish membership wouldn't come up to the microphone and attack this man. I really think that you could ask your questions in a professional way and not shoot the man.
Oh, we didn't mean to shoot him, that's why I brought him up here so I could protect him. Yeah.
Nancy,
No,
I think
really,
that's
we-
great, but excuse me,
I'm
just
sorry.
one more second. I guess I'll ask Eric or the budget committee what kind of, money we are paying, what the contract is, okay?
That's what I was going to answer.
Great.
I don't want to give anything other than the exact figure.
Okay,
So when Eric gets back
okay,
and,
There's Eric.
we can get you an exact figure
Okay.
on that.
You've been replaced, Eric.
thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll get that figure for you.
I'm not gonna attack you, I'm not gonna throw anything at you, so. What I think we need here is maybe a little bit better communication and what expectations are of the property owners and from your crew. I mean, for instance, sweeping the carpet, I've never seen that done with the new crew. Blowing, we've talked about that already, that doesn't get a lot done. We've talked about wiping the doors and the railings. I think we need to have a clear idea what the expectations are for you from us and vice versa. What were your expectations when you got the contract to come on in? So I think maybe there needs to be really a clear-cut communication with that.
And there's a clear scope of work. That's what I haven't been able to understand. That's why when I call you, I just don't understand. We wrote out the scope of work as clear as day, and it's just not being completed according to the people that live there and see it every single day.
I answer now because they told me Monday comes 2 guys here to clean. I didn't know that. I want to figure out why 2 person comes here to clean. Instead of the lady then introduced to you and the other day you asked her if she was happy. And I believe you can see the quality of her work, especially here in the bathrooms here, because she's very committed to what she's doing. And I'm surprised, I'm really surprised. I'm not here to give excuses for anybody. I come here and if I cannot provide the service or if the price is not enough to pay what we have to do it, I will be the first to say I can. I'm not here to sell something different. So when we work together, we agree to 1 day a week, and I change this for 2 days a week because I realize 1 day a week the person comes here and they start becoming tired to work so high with the things and everything like that. So I moved to 2 days a week to keep the quality of the service. I changed the teams exactly because I realized the other team wasn't doing nothing, and I was upset with this also. And I talked with him, so I told to him, let's go move on and change, right? And that's my way of doing business. That's what I'm saying. So I'm sure I can ask for pictures after she did the work also. I think pictures will be shown the place was clean.
I think a checklist,
And
like what we talked about when we heard,
she got the checklist here.
but is she checking the list off and turning it into you that everything is done?
When I talk with her, she's telling me she's doing everything. Okay, so I'm really surprised.
Because we priced this contract out with many companies, and they all came back right at the same dollar amount, basically. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what was said when I wasn't here, but what I would say is figure it out and just let us know if you can do it or not. And if not, we'll get somebody that can.
That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow morning.
All right, sorry if I left you to the wolves. I didn't mean for it to be like that. I didn't mean for it to be like that, but.
No, I say thank you again. You know, we only can improve if you know what you have to improve, right? If you don't know what you can improve, you cannot improve. And I'm not a person who says something and do something different. All in my life, I am more than 30 years running business, and I always commit with my clients because I understand my clients pay my bills, right? And that's the same thought I develop with all the persons that I coach because I coach them. You don't need me to come here to see what she's doing because she owns the business. She's a franchise. She owns the business. She's not my employee. And when I realize somebody's doing something different than they're supposed to do it, I am the first one to come here and say, stop it, because that's what I did with him. And that's why we started with a new team. So I hope we can fix it, you know, and let's see if we can do it. If we cannot do it, we're gonna tell Eric, and then he can move on to a different company or go back with the guys we did before.
Well, sir, we appreciate very much you coming, and I hope we can get it worked out too, and if not, we'll still be friends and part of the company.
And everybody, if they want to do any complaint, please, you can take my email and my phone number and do the complaint. I don't care. And I'm gonna come here to see what's happening. Okay? One thing that I know is, especially in the carpets to vacuum or everything is very hard because the things goes under the carpet sometimes. So it's not like a place inside, when you carpet inside, and it's completely different work. But we are working hard to fix that anyway, okay? And the other thing that I told you, Eric, is the front of the buildings, especially we have 3-floor buildings in the front, and he knows that we need to do a pressure washer time to time because we cannot clean with the tools that we have. We have to bring a lift or something to do it anyway.
And there's one thing about the vacuuming, just from what I've gotten from the residents, is I think they're all reasonable people. And they know you can't get every little bit of everything, it's outdoor carpet. But the feedback I'm getting is that they're not vacuuming at all.
Yeah, he heard that.
So that's the.
I want to talk with her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Eric, please. It's yours.
Still not here.
But,
No.
thank you.
No, basically,
Well, this is Kathy instead of her
Yeah.
husband because her
yeah,
husband.
I don't have the dates, but I believe it's sometime in the first week in November. The American Legion is going to be collecting flags that need to be destroyed. And we'll get the date. He's got it, I don't have it. We're both Legionnaires, but me, I don't have my schedule. And so what we'll do is we'll put a sign up and then we'll have you drop your flags off that need to be destroyed and we'll pick them up and take care of it with the ceremony.
I think he said sometime in November.
Yeah, I think it's the first week, but I'm not
What about
sure.
the flag that needs to be retired properly? And if you bring it to us, we'll make sure it gets into that.
He knows the date, I don't.
Sorry for the interruption, guys, that was a first.
Is Jim okay?
I believe he's okay. We're gonna have the paramedics come and check him out, just to make sure.
Thank you.
So at this time, so back to the manager's report. I hope, I don't know, I hope that it was helpful to hear it straight from the horse's mouth or not, whether or not he's gonna continue being our horse. We're gonna have to decide. I don't know if money was brought up. I guess somebody did ask about money
Yeah,
when
they
I
asked.
walked in.
Yeah.
It's between $1,100 and $1,200 a month, about $275, $300 a week, for them to come out and do it. We quoted it with 3 companies, and 3 companies came back in that 1,100, 1,200 range. So switching companies to another one would not really impact our budget or change anything. But the expectation when you bring in a professional cleaning crew is that they're professionals and they can get through it a lot faster than somebody who's taking their lunch break and going to, doing this in the morning and going to the bathroom. These people are supposed to rock and roll and go through it, and that was the expectation that was set and a scope that was outlined to the T of every single thing that they're supposed to do. So if they're not doing it, and that's the feedback I'm getting, they can't work here anymore, obviously. So sounds like we're gonna give them one last chance, but I'll do that. So continuing the manager's report is still on.
Yeah, you're fine.
Shuffleboard court, the refurbishment's complete. They've been repainted, sealed, and all the cracks have been repaired. Tennis court resurfacing will be complete in the next few days, weather permitting. I expect the court to be playable by the end of next week. Lighting around the court was updated to LED lighting prior to the resurfacing. So it'll also be improved lighting when we play tennis and pickleball. Chaise lounges, all of the seat portions that we're wearing through on the chaise lounges have been replaced, so they are back to brand new condition, the seat portion. The backs were in good shape, so we left those alone. However, we did order a whole roll of fabric, so as the slings start to wear, we can do the same process and re-sling them, and that way we don't have to buy all new furniture or anything like that. Budget packet, I'm assuming most of you picked yours up on the way in. If you didn't, you're welcome to pick it up on the way out. It just helps us save a little postage and it gets it in your hands a little bit faster. They're boxed in alphabetical order, just please sign it out if you take it. Inside that package includes the budget, it includes the proposed rules, proposed budget, proposed rules, but it also includes an important form, the intent to run for the board of directors. And that form, if you'd like to be a candidate, you need to fill it out completely and turn it into the office by close of business on November 5th. In your packet, there's also a notice for a meeting that will happen a couple days later where somebody can be nominated, or someone can nominate themselves at the last second type of thing, or can nominate another community member with that community member's written permission. We rarely ever have anything, in fact, we've never had anything like that come up at that meeting. Usually in advance, everybody, if they decide to run, turns in their intent to run form, and that way we have enough time to get their information sheets together and all that stuff. There are 4 potential openings this year. We appreciate anyone that decides to volunteer and run for the position on the board. There's 4 openings. I do not know who intends to run, from the board again or not, but there's some opportunity, I think, for people who, if they're interested, to get on the board. Ballots will be mailed next month with the annual meeting package, and each candidate will have to come up with a 1-page information sheet or resume that they can put in, so that way those who don't know you personally can learn a little bit about you before they decide whom to vote for. We'll also have a Meet the Candidates night, and that'll be a time where the candidates can sit up here and explain, why do they want to be on the board, and take questions from the audience, and that's usually a very helpful tool for people to deciding they're gonna vote for it. For those up north, we'll record it and possibly stream it, now that we're streaming, and people can view it. But it's very important who you choose as your directors. It really can shape the direction of the community. I think we've been blessed with the directors that we've had because they want to do everything the right way, and hopefully that continues. Election committee. We're going to be reestablishing the election committee. Many of you have worked on it before. Paul Schroeder used to be our leader for that, so I'll have to step in and organize that. But we use a very specific method, a very transparent method of counting the votes. It's right up here in front of everybody. It takes quite a bit of volunteers. So we will, if you're interested in volunteering, please let us know, Pamela, and we'll be putting a sign-up sheet out shortly. Then leading up to the election, we'll have probably two practice rounds, one to just go over it, and then another one to do maybe a little mock election and make sure we end up with the right count of people so everybody's right. But those of you who've participated in that before, we would appreciate you to participate again because that way it'll quicken the learning curve. The only people who are ineligible to participate on the election committee would be any of the current board members or their spouses, or any of the candidates or their spouses. Other than that, any eligible is welcome to volunteer. Cable negotiations have continued. They've taken a fair amount of my time and are ongoing. The board will outline its plan to come to some resolution on this issue later in the meeting during old business. I'll leave that. Working with the budget this month, I've met with them several times. We've completed what I think is a pretty good budget, and I think the treasurer will discuss that a little more. Bookkeeper change. I don't know if any of you or many of you have had interaction with Linda from Myers and Brett Holtz, like one or another. She has retired. She's been with me for 6 years. I think she's been with Pine Ridge longer than that. So we wish her the best in her retirement. Our new bookkeeper's name is Tammy Hoagland. We're getting her up to speed and caught up on how we do things here at Pine Ridge. And if there's any issues related with Myers and Brett Holtz, that will be our main contact. Her name is Tammy. And if there's any issues that you can't resolve, I'm always here to help and get through the transition. Asphalt pavement repairs are completed. If there are a couple areas that we missed and we deem it necessary, the seal coat company is also capable of performing those repairs, so we can have that done at that time. Asphalt seal coating is currently scheduled to start first week of November. We will let you know what the schedule is once it's in place, so that way you can factor your parking situation into it. Of course, the schedule is going to be fluid due to weather. Hopefully, we don't have rains and we can make our way through this fairly quickly. But I think it'll really freshen the place up and things will look really nice. Community LED lighting upgrade. We upgraded the tennis court this past month. This month, I intend to continue the Safety and Security Committee's plan of improving the lighting throughout the community and changing everything over to our LED floodlights. So I think you'll be pleased with what we're doing, but the community's going to be very well lit at the end, and light equals safety in a lot of ways. Not that it's a guarantee of safety, but it's a deterrent for a bad guy. They don't want to be in the light. That's how they'll be seen. Last thing I had was the cleaning crew, which we took care of up front. So I just wanted to say lastly that, as always, if anybody has any questions or concerns, or if there's something going on in the community that seems a little strange, or they think it needs to be looked into, bring it to our attention, and we're happy to look into that, and if it needs to be addressed, address it. You can email me, call me at any time. I always say I have an open door policy if you want to come in and talk to me about it. There's always going to be people trying to get away with something, this or that or the other. our duty is to follow the rules and follow the declaration and the bylaws. And that's what we try to do. So a lot of times there could be something going on out there, somebody could be living here that's not supposed to, and you know, we're not doing bed checks at night, so we don't know. But you may see them going in and out, and it may be nothing, it may be something, but at least we can check into it and ask the question. The only exception to bringing these things to me is if you think that someone may be breaking the law, if you think there's a health emergency, or if you think somebody is in danger in any way. At that, immediately call 911. We had the sheriff of Lee County in here, and he said the same exact thing. You know, a false alarm is better than an alarm, right? They'd rather come out here and it be nothing than it be something. I just actually dealt with that with the paramedics. Even if there's nothing, they want to come out and make sure that they're okay. And that's a good thing. So keep that in mind. And like I said, if there's ever any questions or concerns, please bring them to me. Thank you.
Is everything okay over there? Okay. Treasurer's report.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Of course you can. The association remains on budget. I have Kathy didn't get the financial statements to me until about 4:45 today, which is okay. It's the 17th. We're a couple days earlier in the monthly cycle. So we didn't have time to publish them because Pamela will be gone for the day. But they'll be available for you. If you want a hard copy, ask Pamela, or she can email it, and then we'll try to have copies next month. And they'll be on the website. Okay, the budget committee, for whom none of you are worthy, they completed the budget. It's in your packet if you pick it up tonight. There's a draft. I'd like to recognize two people from tonight, just on top of everything. They're hanging up their spreadsheets. They've been the backbone of the budget committee for a long time. They help put together the spreadsheets that we use. They put in the most work, and they've been most conscientious, and we're very fortunate to have them. Rhea Lamakin and Ron Business. They don't want to be bothered with us anymore. And after what I'm going to say in a little bit, y'all need to buy Rhea a car. Okay, a lot of places what you're going to get is they'll just tack 3% on every year. That's your budget. Just pay it. Those places probably go broke because that means they're not paying attention to their money. Other places more conscientious, they'll do 1 or 2 drafts and give it up as a good job, which is okay. At Pine Ridge, we had draft 3, we had draft 4, we had draft 5, we had draft 6. This is draft 7. Now, it wasn't crippling to begin with, but by the time we got to draft 6, and we're getting ready to finish it up, Rhea says, let me have another look at it. And she took it home. And draft 7 is where the magic happens. And I'm happy to report, give or take, things will have to be approved. Everybody will look at it. In the 4 condos, nobody will be paying more than 1% over last year. Condo 1, we're looking at about 1/3%. Condo 2 is about 3/4%. And I want to tell you, Condo 2 was really ugly when we started out. So I don't even know how I should do it. Condo 2A, 0.2%. And of course, Condo 3, 0.1% increase in the association fees for next year, which is phenomenal. For all intents and purposes, rising costs, Irma expenses, fixing things in the pool. Instead of doing just patchwork on our walkway around the lake, we put in a whole new walkway. We fixed the potholes in this place, and on and on. I'm burning up Tom's minutes on his boat. Anyway, for all intents and purposes, our budget's going to be about the same next year as it was last year. Very slight increase. I hope y'all are very happy, and I hope you appreciate it very, very much. Because I'm in condo too. And just in other trivial things, we finished up, we received all liens and expenses on a villa that was in foreclosure, and that's quite a bit of money. It's $14,000 on one unit, and we're getting every bit of that in. Other than that, there's nothing significant in accounts receivable. Just people have paid up, we're on their payout, and the collections still are in shape. As always, financial documents are available for your review in the office at any time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Tommy, do you have a president's report?
No, we're having a great time here.
We knew that. Okay, thank you, Tommy. I'm glad you are. I have a report this evening. It's the Vice President's report. I want to mention something here tonight that has been brought to my attention. It may not be an association issue, but something that I still feel is very important to address. As we all know, this is a 55 and older community, with many of us being well over 55. 81? Unfortunately, as we get older, we sometimes suffer the loss of our spouse or loved ones. This has happened to many of us, myself included, and it is a devastating experience. I want to ask tonight that as friends and neighbors, we take this devastation into consideration and treat a neighbor who is mourning with respect, giving them time to wrap their head around everything that has happened. I think that sometimes fellow residents view these tragedies as opportunities and immediately begin to approach the spouse or children before they can even finish grieving about whether their house or condo is for sale now, or if they or their friends can buy it, or how much they're asking. I ask that when one of our neighbors passes away or has a serious health condition, that we treat that community member and their family with honor and respect. The family will need time to sort through everything and make the personal decision on how they intend to move forward. If they decide to put their unit up for sale, it will be made known at that time. All families deserve the time and respect to make sure that they make the right decisions for themselves and not rush into anything. A lot of times rumors about things like this start with one resident and grow from there until they can get out of hand and at times be hurtful, especially during an emotional time. I know we are all very caring people. Let's please try to be kind to all, especially at the time when they need us the most. Thanks, guys.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, next on our schedule, are there any other committee reports? I believe you have one, Ron.
Yes, I do have one. All of you have received your budget packet tonight, and it includes the updated rules for this upcoming year that the committee worked on during the last year. By the way, and I want to thank all of those that were involved with that process. It was a hard-fought project many times. Other times it went quite smoothly. But one thing I wanted to make sure that you understood with this is that in the new additions are underlined, and these things to be deleted are those things that are to be deleted are to be struck out. In other words, a line drawn through it. So some of you may have already looked at it this evening and are wondering what's going on. That's it. It's really pretty simple. Then at next month's meeting, I will be, on the behalf of the committee, recommend to the board that we're going to adopt these rules. Make sure you read these closely. If you have a strong objection to anything in those rules, please let me know or bring it to the next month's board meeting, and we may change it or we may not, depending on what the board feels is appropriate. Please consider this an important issue for you because it's going to affect what's going on in this operation here.
John, if you don't mind, how John explained that things being deleted or struck through and things being added or changed are underlined. Anything that is not underlined or struck through is remaining exactly the same. A lot of times with these rules, when we make changes, people read them and they object to a rule that has been in place for many years. So if you want to focus on the changes, what's underlined or struck through is what's changed. Anything that has no markings is exactly what it was.
Do you have a landscape?
Yes, I'll be quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, please make it fast.
Is Elon gone?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because we fired a vendor. The pesticide guy just wasn't up to snuff, and I think that perhaps they had been rude
Yeah.
or something, and that's not gonna happen. That doesn't work. So we're gonna look at that. We won't let the bugs overrun the place, but we'll decide which way we're gonna go. This is just this week that we finished up because we were contracted with the guy for one more go around the pesticide. And so we'll let everybody know. We'll either do it in-house or we'll look. The place is crawling with exterminators, so that shouldn't be a problem. Eric keeps a list of plants. I don't know, we may go shopping sometime, but if you've got an idea for a plant or you find a hole or something that's dead, just kind of let him know. And he can add it to the list so we get a deal with TJ's or the lady at the butterfly garden and we can take care of that. I came down the new front entrance, is awesome. I hadn't seen it. We have a couple of those little tilted over plants. Don't be alarmed. They're not drought resistant plants in there, so we'll find something to put in there. That was just something to make it look nice to start, but it's kind of, yeah, it's not bad. The important stuff, probably the beginning of December, be fertilizing for the grass. We'll be mulching, new mulch. What color? Red. Red forever. Red. And we'll be putting in the annual flowers, so it'll finish dressing up the area for everybody else, and that's all I've got. All right, you two.
Oh, thank you. I whispered one thing to him and he whispered to him. I
I
whispered
was
it
just
for
trying to
him.
figure out if Tommy had an unlimited plan or how much this was.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't think there are any other committee reports for today, are there? Okay. Now we will go on, discuss the cable contract negotiations. Old business. The upcoming cable contract renewal has been a big topic of conversation throughout the community. Did you all know that? Over the past month, we intend to resolve this issue by the end of the month of October. In your budget package are notices for 2 special board of directors meetings that we will be holding over the next 2 weeks. The first will be on October 25th at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. The agenda will be for the meeting consisting of a 1-hour presentation and question and answer session with Kim, what's her last name? Ayita, who represents Comcast Xfinity. Then we will take a 30-minute break for refreshments and resume the meeting with James Marshall and Dish Network presenting and answering questions from 6:30 to 7:30. This meeting will be live streamed via Instagram Live for those who are unable to attend in person. Instructions for locating Pine Ridge on Instagram is included in the packet. We will also record it for YouTube like we do our other meetings. The board will listen to the presentations as well as the feedback, and we want feedback and questions from residents, and vote to make a final decision at the second special Board of Directors meeting, which is scheduled for October 30th at 6 p.m. right here in the clubhouse. And please, people, please come to these meetings. Give us your ideas. We don't want to hear them after that. We want this, you know, it's going to be difficult enough as it is. We all know that. And we'd like to have everything considered that we could possibly have considered. Would any board members like to make a comment or discuss this plan of action? Or do you think that sounds good?
Yeah, just a couple of things, Janet. James is flying in with Dish. He's going to bring in the local installation engineer. It's a guy that lives here. I don't know if Kim will be bringing tech or not. Maybe you can ask her. So bring your technical questions and for the two presentations. And we haven't sorted it out yet, but we may try to have food. So somebody doesn't want to miss their dinner. We'll see what we can do about that. Other than that, that's...
Thank you. Okay. Yes?
Prior to that meeting, can we have Pam or somebody put a list side by side of the channels? Saying Comcast has 97 channels doesn't do you much good. You know, if you don't know what they are.
It's going to be a good question to bring to the meeting on the 25th.
But when you bring it to the meeting, they're just going to say 97 channels. You're not going to know, does this one have spike and this one not have spike? Does this one have WGN?
Well, when they, one more thing, we're not allowed to take these questions from the audience. However, exactly how you asked me that question, you will have the opportunity to ask them those same questions. If you want an exact channel lineup from what Dish has, you know, and expect him to bring that information with him. Right now, with the negotiations being so fluid, looking at which channels we want hasn't been the priority. The priority has been deciding which direction we want to go. They all have access to the same channels. They all have access to the same channels.
But that's not true. That's not true at all.
Point of order. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to...
Okay, you have any questions on that they'll have to ask at the end of the meeting?
Correct.
Okay. Excuse me, I did say if any board members had a comment. Okay? Authorization, the next one is authorization management to mail proposed budget and rules packet to association members. Do I have a motion that we formally authorize our association manager to mail this packet to all our members who have not picked it up?
I make a motion that
We mail.
we mail the packets that aren't picked up tonight. Don't forget your packets, save us some postage. But that's our motion.
And I'll second that.
All
in favor?
those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. Thank you. Okay, discuss including a proxy question for the annual meeting vote, proposing a material alteration to change the color of the front doors of the units at the time we paint the community. The board would approve 4 to 6 colors, and the individual owner would get to select their color from the available choices. We are currently looking at painting in late 2019 or 2020. Do I have any discussion on this topic or a motion on whether this change should be included as part of the annual meeting proxy vote?
I would like to comment on that.
Okay,
Can you all hear Tom?
Yes.
go ahead, Tommy.
I I don't think we made it clear that it is mandatory that you change the color of your door. That's not the purpose of this. The idea was that to give people who do want a change the opportunity to select a different color. If they're satisfied with what it is now or white, that is fine. And that would be included in one of the 6 colors. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay? So now we'll just continue with. But
Well, we'll have to make a decision, because
No.
it's gonna go out in the mailing,
Yeah.
whether to include it in.
Do we want to add that to the proxy or not for people to vote
Do you think we should add it to them?
Yes, we could get a feeling of the community, I think. It doesn't have to be a binding referendum. Would be binding that we could do? Okay, well then let's do it, get a feeling of the community then, and what they think about it, they'll either vote it out or down.
I believe require a 2/3 majority of the quorum of voters. So 300 people vote, 200 of them would have to vote yes.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we include the proxy.
Okay.
I mean, the question in the proxy mailing, and,
I would second that.
Any discussion, any more discussion?
the only discussion I would have is, once we know what the vote is, we can tweak the details, we'll have over a year to
Okay.
work it out, 'cause- so.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say no. Okay. Then we have new business. We'd like to reschedule the November board meeting to the 2nd Wednesday in November, because the 3rd Wednesday is Thanksgiving Eve. It was suggested the meeting will be better attended as many will be out of town the night before Thanksgiving. Do I have a motion on that we change it?
I have a motion that we move that date to November 14th.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Aye.
say. Good. And then we're going to discuss postponing the election of officers to the January Board of Directors meeting. We have done this the last several years in December. Many times it's not possible for all the new board members who have been elected to be present, and voting telephonically is not legally permitted. An interim president and treasurer will be appointed until the official election of officers takes place in January. Do I have a motion to postpone the election of officers until the January meeting?
So moved.
Thank you.
A second.
Any discussion?
We always do this because it makes 2 meetings.
All those in
one
favor,
month, so.
please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Discuss the installation of updated chair height toilets in the clubhouse, ladies' room. Now, the height in the men's seems to be okay. It helps everybody. But the women's, some are real low to the ground and they think they're gonna fall. And anyhow, we want to change all of those to, a regular height. It'll cost us, it won't exceed $1,000. And I'd like permission for the board to do that. A motion,
I
please.
make a motion that we get the girls' new toilets.
Thank you.
And I second that.
You second it. How about that, Tommy?
It's frozen in time.
Oh, okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Yeah. As long as we get colder, something really good.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
We'll have to get Tommy's eye vote.
Let's look at my satellite. There we go.
Oh,
He's gone.
He
That's the end of business.
Okay, we have come to the point in time of our meeting, and it's been a longer meeting tonight, to have anyone who wanted to discuss something that occurred in this meeting, that you may stand and discuss what you would like.
You want to adjourn because we no longer have a quorum?
Pardon
And then
me?
we can take questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear that, you guys? We don't have a quorum any longer. That's too bad. So as of
But we'll take
now,
questions.
The meeting is officially.
save your question for the next time.
No,
And the
we can
meeting.
do it now.
We'll take the questions, but legally.
Legally,
All right,
we have to
legally
adjourn.
it's adjourned. Okay, then we're gonna take them. Anyhow. We'll take your questions. Come on, guys. Come
Anyone
on.
has a question?
The
She does.
covered doors, is that villas and condos?
Yeah, it would be proposed for both. The colors haven't been finalized, but what was talked about was, you know, the different colors you have, people paint front doors, like a darker blue, a hunter green, a red, a white.
So the entire association would have that option, would it be just the condos?
Oh, no, it wouldn't be just a condo.
So my sister can't have my color though, right?
No, I don't know. You have to find that out yourself.
That'll be first.
Okay, next question. Did any, okay,
Yes, if we're not going to be here for the resurfacing of the parking lots, I mean, we're approaching Thanksgiving, people are going on vacation and that sort of thing. I know the schedule's not posted yet. Can we leave maybe a vehicle, or a key to our vehicle to the front office? Or
Yes,
do we-
we're gonna have a log. If you wanna leave your key, you can log it in, and we will move your vehicle from the parking lot if it's resurfaced when you're not here to the parking lot next door, and then back to your space when it's done.
Just leave the convertible. If you have one.
Except your odometer.
Or a motorcycle.
Yes.
Motorcycles.
Is it my responsibility to replace my outside lights on the building?
Yes, it's always been treated that way.
So do we have to approve on what kind to replace or
Um,
a certain standard?
There's kind of a hodgepodge, it's been like that for years, way before I got here. What I would say is get something that fits in with what, you know, but if you look around, people do have a little bit of individuality with that, and I think that
something similar.
years ago started, yeah.
Yes,
I thought a couple of years ago, it was agreed that the colors would stay gray because you were getting into so many different colors and it would look like a real hodgepodge.
So this, we're just talking about the front doors.
Yeah, but if you're gonna change the color of the doors, it's gonna look stupid if your building is gray.
well, see then, what to do then, you vote no.
You would vote no, yeah.
And we have to have,
Yeah,
Yes.
I
because
change it.
well, it was brought up, and in the interest of the community, the vote that'll go out with the proxy will get a sense of the community. And if everybody says, what are you out of your mind, they're gonna vote no. It's like, this is the greatest idea ever. Then they're gonna vote yes. And then we'll find out, we can't even talk about it till we even see if the community wants it. So it's like, I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep over
No,
it.
I won't, because I don't care what color my door is, because I
So,
don't see
you know,
it.
it's not something we.
And I just thought the buildings, it was agreed the buildings would stay gray.
What date?
The building.
What was the date about the flag? Kathy presented the flag. So if you have flags, bring them by the 3rd of November. I thought I had that date.
okay, any other questions? Yes.
The front gate, when you come in, I can't tell you how many times the car behind me follows right in.
Oh, yeah.
They do not
Yes.
stop.
These
And
are,
yes, they are a member, but follow the rules.
Oh, that's what we've been trying to get people to do for a long time.
the way to stop it is to put a bunch of speed bumps up there so they can't do it. We're trying to do every single thing we can do to avoid it. You know, the people that are here in this room, we can ask you guys all to follow it. You're obviously only a small percentage of the population, but you know, we can lead by example and talk to everybody tells their friend and they tell their friend.
It's just a do the right thing type of thing. The reason the gate system's in place is to give you that peace of mind that everybody that's coming in through that express lane is a member. Most likely, if that arm is staying up, it means they are a member, because we don't want to damage our equipment, we don't want to damage your car, so that's the way that the computer works it. But you're not getting that peace of mind, and it literally takes 2 seconds to let the arm go down and then pull out. You don't have to wait for the black gates to close. But just let the arm go down, get to red, go back up, become green.
Will the arm go down if the vehicle is under it, Eric? Or
If you're
Yes, it will.
If you're in
Will it
that
still go down?
if you're in that bubble, where the radio frequency is, it will not go down. If you stop at the stop sign as directed, and then proceed when the car in front of you has.
A non-resident can't tailgate in behind you. The way the system is, well,
a non-resident.
if they're all residents, well, if they do, they're gonna get caught by the gate.
No, they didn't.
Well,
because
they
I
left
went
out.
through and he came in, he
All right.
was right on my
That's
line.
incidental. Many times they're not, and they're gonna pay for it, and I'd like to charge people administration fees. But no, if you've got 5 cars in a row, they're all residents, they're right behind each other, the gate, if it reads the RFID tag, that gate will stay open and all of y'all can fly through, which is like what all I was gonna ever do, but they put in the stop sign in the bump, and I said, okay, I'll play by the rules. The thing is, if you're doing that and the system has a little mechanical thing, the gate could come down on you even though you're a resident, and you're gonna get charged for it, so just stop. Just, if I can do it, everybody can do it, and it's just the best idea. It's better for everybody, it doesn't take that long. This next car pulls forward, it immediately pops back up, and then everybody goes through one at a time, and then nobody's upset.
There's no foolproof gate system, and safety is always the most important thing to me. Access control is a big part of keeping safety, but there is no foolproof. Really, it's more of a deterrent than anything. The bad guys are going to go to the place that's not gated versus the one that is. Can somebody get in by tailgating?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Can somebody get in by tailgating at every single community?
Yes.
Yes.
I've done it.
The idea is, number one,
Not here, but if I
number one,
You're not
do
supposed to let everybody know.
do it a bunch of times. One of these times is not going to work out well for you. Number one is one thing I would say. And number two is, I want people to remember where we came from, which was a gate that everybody in town knew the code was the zip code. You enter it, and then the gate would stay open long enough for about a dozen cars or more to get in. So while we haven't perfected it, and we're trying to improve it, that's why we added those stop signs, and we're always looking at things. We want to improve it in ways that aren't going to inconvenience people, and bumps and things like that. But if you consider where we came from to where we are now, and if we, the people that are here, follow the rules, at least we know we're following the rules, and let the people that don't, the non-residents.
They have to pay for any damage they cause.
Yeah, we've collected thousands.
Nancy.
I'll only take a second. In regards to old business number 3, I was on the committee 7 years ago, and we were trying very, very hard to change the color of our buildings. I would recommend or suggest, in my opinion, and everyone that worked on that committee, one of the reasons, in my opinion, and the committee, is because the colors that we chose, that was out to say yes or no, were colors that were copied on the copy machine. And the colors were not the colors that we had picked out. I would suggest when you do this, that we get the swatches right from, we'll say, Sherwin-Williams, and take the time to cut out the real color that it's going to be and not make a copy on the copy machine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, I think we've had about enough for tonight. And we are going to end this meeting and go home or wherever you want to go. Thank you all very much for coming.
You don't have to go home, you can't stay.